I'll give you the countdown now.
Okay.
3, 2, go.
Good night, everyone. This is another session of the Healthy Reset, and I want to welcome all our faithful viewers, all the women that I'm seeing here online, and the men. Thank you for coming, and I'm happy that this topic grabbed some of your attention. Can the Mediterranean diet help menopausal symptoms? But before I go on, I would like you all to like and subscribe and share what we are doing to help women, particularly women going through this transition of menopause, perimenopausal women, menopausal, postmenopausal women. We are here for this purpose, and you all actually, and what I myself am going through at this time are the catalysts for these sessions here. Many of us, even though we may be in the health field, many of us who may not as well, we go through the same issues when it comes to health issues and particularly menopausal issues. And many times we are suffering in openly and people just don't know. We have ways of hiding it. And I looked at the Mediterranean diet and the benefits of it. And when it is a very timely topic, and it's one that could really make a big difference. And why I can say that without a shadow of a doubt is that when actually years ago, I had never had problem with weight gain, bloating and things like that, because basically I had always eaten like this and didn't even realize that I was eating this way. Natural foods was natural as possible. I never gained weight. And somehow, sometime I came off and started to eat more processed food. And as I started to go through the menopausal process, everything was just exacerbated. I was putting on weight, I was putting on the stomach and things like that. And then on 2023, I met Dr. Khan through a program at work and really got back into the way I used to eat. Now, I must say though, I haven't gotten down to the size I've wanted to get down to at this point, but as I always say to you all, I am a work in progress. There are times when I'm not feeling my best and I'm not motivated. And sometimes the stress of my job, which is a big factor to me, can contribute in many things in terms of my progress. So as I said, I'm a work in progress, and I know many of us we going through it. And the more I get information that can help, that is beneficial to me, I will pass it on to everyone. So hence the reason why the Mediterranean diet, I looked into it and I found that it was very timely for us. The Mediterranean diet actually help us with menopausal symptoms and relief from many of the symptoms. What you can eat now can affect everything from hot flashes to your future health. Now, the Mediterranean diet has been proven to improve health and life expectancy. Now, we don't just want to live long lives, we want to live healthy, productive, long lives. We don't want to be the type of people who are dependent on anyone to move around and things like that. And this diet can be a way that we can improve our health bit by bit. It also has specific benefits to women experiencing perimenopause and menopausal symptoms. We would like to discover the foods and meals that we can fill up on without feeling guilty. So by the time perimenopause most of us women have been on some type of diet. And ladies, I want you to raise your hand and tell me that sometime in your life, or many times, you tried very, very multiple diets. I have. I could put up my hand. And I don't want us to say that word diet because it gives the impression that let me just try this for a while and then I will get back to eating the way I used to eat when I reach where I want to reach. So I would say the Mediterranean eating habit or Mediterranean lifestyle, right? So I think that would be more precise. So we've all heard the claims before about counting calories. So we don't want to say diet. So it's inspired by the way people traditionally eat this diet in coastal Mediterranean countries, including Italy, Greece, Turkey, Spain, and France. And bringing up these topics here in these countries, I don't know if any of you all ever heard about the blue zones of the world. Can anybody raise up their hand if anybody heard about the blue zones?
Yes.
All right. And what do we know about the blue zones? What are the blue zones of the world? What they represent?
Well, they live long and it's based on their diet.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
I think there are 7 Adventist groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are one of the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, one of the factors with one of the main key with these groups, what attract scientists to these group of people with the green zones is that many of them live 100+ years, and their lifestyle has been studied for a number of years now because they want to learn what are these people doing to get to this age without having any type of ailment. So one of the future topics I would like to deal with, the blue zones of the world, and I think that would be a very timely topic, and it would be helpful for us to as we go through this transition. So unlike many other diets, but I would say eating habits with short-term focus on weight loss, this Mediterranean diet is simply about eating healthily and making this a long-term way of life. What is the Mediterranean diet, by the way? The Mediterranean diet principally contains plenty of fruits, veggies, beans, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and unsaturated fats such as olive oil. It also includes moderate amounts of dairy. So a lot of people, they use a lot of yogurt, eggs, fish, and poultry. There is then a limited amount of red meat and saturated fat, such as butter. So we can look at that as a more natural and healthy way of eating. This diet also, it limits sugar, highly processed foods, refined carbohydrates, which is a lot of the white pastas, white breads, etc. Processed meats, like all the sausages, the smoked food, the smoked meats and things like that. This means you are eating more food in its natural form and don't need to track down any calories because everything you're eating is just basically healthy and good for you. They are all readily available. And I would like to interject here. When I started this transition, I realized that a lot of the foods we buy in the markets, if they're not organic, because of the chemicals that are sprayed on our food, it affects our hormones. Hence the reason that encouraged me to do home gardening, because I know with home gardening, I am not putting any chemicals on my fruits, spraying on my fruits, on my veggies. So I have restarted my garden and I grow tomatoes. I have tomatoes, a lot of tomatoes right now. I have celery and some few other ones that are growing up. I restarted and are growing again. A lot of herbs as well, natural seasoning like the big leaf, what we call the big leaf thyme, or what some people call oregano. I use a lot of garlic. I steam a lot of my foods. I eat them, a lot of them natural. I make a lot of smoothies. And these also is combined with exercise. And believe you me, just about 10 minutes in the garden has me sweating. Really, just 10 minutes, just weeding. So it's like everything is just natural. Now, what are the benefits of the Mediterranean diet? For many years now, the health of people living in Southern European countries has been studied, and it has been found that those who eat a Mediterranean diet have a better life expectancy, a lower rate of chronic diseases, lower cancer rates, and better heart health. And as we know, as we go through this menopause process, particularly postmenopausal women, we are more prone to get heart issues, heart attacks, things like that. And so this is a very good way to prevent a lot of these chronic diseases. Now, research has shown that a traditional Mediterranean diet can reduce the risk of developing conditions such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. There is also data to suggest that it has a protective role against Parkinson's disease onset and its progression. According to Alzheimer's Society, there's also some evidence that eating a Mediterranean style diet can also reduce the risk of developing problems with memory and thinking and getting some form of dementia. So we know that this is some of the aging diseases. So can the Mediterranean diet really help in menopause? Let's see. According to a review of observational studies and randomized trials on the effects of the Mediterranean diet on menopausal health, it found that it adhered to long-term. It can, in a long-term, if adhered to in the long-term, it can reduce cardiovascular disease risk factors, improve bone mineral density. We know that is a big problem when we are going through menopause or going through menopause, osteoporosis, especially with women who have developed that already. Improvement, prevent against cognitive decline, reduce the risk of breast cancer. And ladies, just to recap with breast cancer, we know that according to the WHO, breast cancer is the #1 killer of women worldwide in terms of cancers. Is the cancer that is most prevalent with women worldwide and responsible for many deaths. So one of the things that it's good for is to reduce that type of cancer as well, breast cancer. And it also, as I said, helps to prevent cognitive decline and reduce all the causes of mortality. Now, with regard to hot flashes now, during menopause, researchers found that about 6,000 women who were following this diet over a 9-year period, those who ate a lot of strawberries, pineapples, melon, and most closely followed a Mediterranean style diet were about 20% less likely to report any symptoms. So you see how important eating is. And I can tell you that as a healthcare provider and talking to a lot of women in the job that I do, many of us, like myself, are going through up and down. Our weights are just, we are having issues with weight. And I know by adhering to this diet, up to today, I met one of my patients and we spoke about, she was telling me about the bloating and things like that. And we spoke, that was sometime in March, early March. And she came back to me today and I told her, well, what to do in March when we spoke, what to do, she could do to help to reduce that bloating and the brain fog and things like that. And when she came back to me today, she making a lifestyle change. She cut down on all the sugary foods and the sugary drinks and she cut down on the processed food. She told me, this I am eating as natural as I could. And you would not believe, she said, when I came by you, I was 156 pounds. I was just looking to eat healthy. And she said today I came down to 144 pounds. And that was without making much effort with exercise. She said that was just basically eating, mainly just changing up the way I eat. And she lost about 13 pounds between March to June. And she was looking really good. Her skin was looking really healthy. And she said she loves this way of eating. So it is, and she's just one of many women that I've been speaking to about, making lifestyle changes, just basically cutting out sugary foods, a lot of the processed foods, the white flours and the pastas, the white pasta, and eating whole grain. And she came back and she said, without a shadow of a doubt, that had made a big difference with her symptoms. There's also evidence that the severity of menopause symptoms can be reduced by eating a Mediterranean diet. A study also found that the intake of legumes and extra virgin olive oil was associated with lower severity of menopausal symptoms and the psychological symptoms. We know that the moodiness, the mood swings, the brain fog, anxiety, all of that they noted in the study was reduced. So let's look at what are some of the foods I should eat in a Mediterranean diet. These are the foods that should make up the bulk of our eating when we decide to eat this way. Vegetables, and I would say I try to eat a fresh salad almost every day. I try to eat fruits every day as well. So sometimes I make a combination. When I do my salads, I would put lettuce, kale, because I have anemia. I put, I may cut up some apples, green apples, grapes, and I put in some mushrooms and make a natural dressing with the olive oil. And I use that many times with my salad. So it is those fruits. So that's how I get to put some of my fruits in during the course of the day. And then for snack in between, I may eat a pear, apple, a small apple, have a lot of grains and nuts. So the vegetables could be used and the fruits could be combined that way. There are many ways you can do it. You can use a smoothie. You could combine some of your veggies and the fruits there as well. So there are vegetables, fruits, right? These are some of the foods, which I have a lot. Legumes, a lot of peas and beans, nuts and grains. So I have a lot of almond, walnuts. I have the pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I make some mix with that, and sometimes I put in dried pineapple or pawpaw, all of that in a mix, and I have that as a snack. Healthy fats and vinegars, the likes of extra virgin olive oil, apple cider vinegar, balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, herbs and spices as well, and olives, which I love, sesame seed, and some people use tahini. I'm not so being honest with you, I'm not so familiar with the tahini, but I would like to try it. These can be eaten in more moderate amounts. That I'm giving you here, the dairy and the cheese. Seafood, especially oily fish and poultry. And some people would put in red meat there, but very limited. What can I drink using this Mediterranean lifestyle? Water and unsweetened drinks such as tea, which I'm trying to get so accustomed to. Drinking tea without any type of sweetener. So I try to do that and generally as much as possible. So there's a very amount of mixtures. I may go out in the yard and get different herbs that is synonymous in the Caribbean area. And you can do that where you are as well. So I would use the black sage or what we call the fever grass in this part of the world. There are different names for it. I would use pice and a lot of different things in different teas. I try to drink my juice as fresh as possible. Those of you who use a juicer as well. Grounded seeds are tahini. All right. It can be homemade. Thank you, Grace Ramata. She was talking about grounded seeds. The tahini. So that's good. And so water and unsweetened drinks such as tea, fresh juice. Those of you who use alcohol, they say they use that in their diet. And a lot of the Italians, they use actually wine, can be drunk in low to moderate amounts and part of your meal. But I am not a wine drinker as such. Breakfast options can include the likes of yogurt, which I would say Greek, which is very healthy. Greek yogurt, nuts, seeds, and fruits. Frittata, try spinach and feta, or one packed with your favorite veggies. Tomato and avocado on toast, which I use as well. And I try to get the sourdough bread as much as I could. Roast tomatoes, peppers, and add garlic and spices to that. And serve with kale and poached egg. I've done that already. Oats. Now, up to today, one of my patients was telling me again, I met 2 of them today. She said, I've started to eat like that, just as we spoke about. And she was 240 pounds earlier this year. She said, Miss, now I came down from 240 to when I put her on the scale today, she was actually from 240, she went down to 208 pounds. Right? And that is just by eating. She said she doesn't really exercise much, but she does some exercise. She exercises about 2 to 3 times for the week, but she said, I've totally changed up the way I eat. My flour, she said she used cassava flour, and she used a lot of oat flour which she used a blender to blend it up, and that's how she makes her bread, and it's soft and it's lovely, she says. So she has adopted that way of life just by us speaking and exchanging ideas, and me telling her about her healthier lifestyle, and she tried it and it is working for her really, really good. Whole grain toast and peanut butter and banana is a good combination as well. So those are some of what I call the breakfast options. What about lunch? What can you do for lunch? Vegetable soup. So the vegetable soup I would use is with split peas, pumpkin. I also put some extra green beans. I put carrots, some potato, sweet potato, dasheen when I can get it, and I make the soup very wholesome. I also use barley in my soup, the barley And those of you who know barley, I use barley as well. And it makes a very nice soup. It thickens the soup naturally. Right? And then you have Greek salad. You have the grain bowls as well. So you can add a lot of grains in your bowls as well, in your salad bowl. Add in your favorite salads. You have veggies and proteins such as chicken or egg. And it's important that how we do it. So I try to make cut my eggs up, boil them, and I place it there, and I use a salad dressing, and I put it on the green salad, and I use that's lunch for me many times.
Okay.
Now pasta salad, if I'm using pasta, I have swapped the flour, and I use the rice option when I can get it. And so that is very helpful for me too. I'm looking for the oat option as well. So we have options out there besides the grain flour. So what about dinner? What can we use for dinner? Lemon and garlic chicken with feta and olives. So the feta cheese. What about baked salmon, which I love, with veggies and grains? You can use fish, make a fish stew, roasted vegetables as well. A good vegetables tray roast with roasted veggies. You can have that along with some protein. And some people stuff peppers, so they would do peppers and stuff probably baked chicken in it, and that is and by itself you're getting your veggies and your protein in a healthy way. What about snacking? Can I have snacks and desserts in a Mediterranean diet? You do not need to forego snacks on this diet. But if you can eat plenty, enough food at your main meal, you may not feel the need to snack as much. What I would say though is that when you start to eat like this, the need for snacking is reduced drastically. Because generally these type of foods, the way you eat like this, it leaves you full. So Mediterranean style snacks include homemade dips such as crackers, whole wheat crackers, that is pita, whole wheat pita, nuts, handful of nuts, fruits, oat cakes, which I try to use. Sometimes it doesn't really have much flavor. So generally, if I use oat cakes, I would use it with either cottage cheese or peanut butter for dessert. For something, and you could also use fruit. You can make a fruit salad, fruit crumble, baked pears, Greek yogurt and berries, which my daughter does a lot because she has changed her eating habits a whole lot, and I learned so much from her. Right, her eating habits has changed so much, and even though she is not very far from what we are going through, I have seen a lot of changes. She is more lean. She has less carbs, more whole grains, and she sticks to it. She exercises about 3 to 4 times for the week as well. And what I like about her lifestyle change and this diet, it has done positive things for her because she has a lot of allergies, and particularly to milk. And when she left, she stopped using that. She would get, she would get the cold so regular, and that actually has stopped. She used to have the flu so often, and it used to be really bad. So I can tell you firsthand that this way of eating as close to nature as possible, as healthy as possible, has positive outcome, not just for women going through menopause, but general lifestyle improvements can happen. And it does not actually take too long, because within about 2 to 3 months, those allergies that she had, they totally just disappeared. Because, I can't remember the last time she had to stay home from school because she wasn't feeling well. She was all stuffy and things like that. That has now been something of the past. And I have seen this diet work on younger women, older women, middle age, you just name it, male and female. So I don't know if anybody here ever use or have been using or making lifestyle changes and has had positive results. Any tips here for any of us here, ladies?
Yes, I did.
And what changes did you make and what benefits did you get
Well, what happened?
Gracelyn?
When
Mhm.
I returned to Tobago, I decided that I would change my diet,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I will completely go on fruits and things because I have a lot of fruits.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, my weight have thrown off a lot of weight. People who see me couldn't believe that, you know, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling, I'm looking younger. I take off
Mm-hmm.
about, 10 years.
Wow.
Yes, and it is good. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
I introduce where I remove dairy from my diet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because dairy produces mucus and also increases inflammation, right?
Yes.
Which is bad, right? So when I change my diet completely, you find things that used to be happening to me like headaches and greasy skin and all these kind of things went totally. I'm
Totally.
looking leaner and, and addition to a little exercise, I could say, well, yes, I am so glad that I changed my diet completely. I came off flour
Mm-hmm.
and like on mornings I'll have smoothies
Mm-hmm.
and I cut out rice and those things. Now and again I will, because I like pilau, I'll make a pilau, but I
Yeah.
will go, like today I had like 3 different vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no meat,
So
because I
so
kind of reduce from my meat.
sorry, I forgot any, but give me like a rundown about how you generally have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What you generally have,
Okay, so like I do intermittent fasting. So what
right?
happens, I will have breakfast about like 11:30,
Okay.
right? And when I say breakfast, I mean like just a smoothie or so, or fruits.
Okay.
Yeah, water,
Mm-hmm.
and like I will have tea if I'm feeling kind of gassy or anything like that. I will have
Mm-hmm.
tea. Tea meaning no sugar, completely no sugar at all,
No sugar.
right?
Okay.
Uh, Either herbal like fever grass and those things,
Yeah.
or like a herbal tea without any sugar at all in it, right? As much as possible during the day, and water, right? For lunch, I will have same thing, vegetable soup, and I love callaloo soup.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time I'll have that, or I'll have there's this packet with about 10 different beans in it, and
Mm-hmm.
with barley in it. So I will
Mm-hmm.
have that. So you have like 10 different beans with the barley included. I have that for lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut out the snacking. If I really have to snack, I would roll, like if I'm eating a banana, I think I'll cut it up in slices and then I roll it in oats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most of my fruits, I roll it in oats. So I have oats on a daily basis
Okay.
when
Okay.
I'm having my fruit. Yeah. And then for dinner time, I will have
Mm-hmm.
like a vegetable, 20 salad, 20 salad, vegetables, you know, like a salmon,
Okay.
salmon, chicken,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, vegetables, and salad.
Very good.
That's it.
So it a general improvement beside losing the weight, which is really, really applaudable, right? What about how you feel about yourself generally in terms of what it did for your self-esteem?
Oh, wonderful. I tell you, I'm feeling younger. I'm more energetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all of that. When last you see me?
I haven't seen you in a few years, actually it's feeling like about 2 to 3 years.
Okay, well, I've lost a lot of weight, about like 20 pounds from when
Okay.
in Monto. Yeah,
And you're maintaining it.
maintaining it because I'm rigid with what I'm eating because I
Very good.
recognize that it is better than the diet I was having before.
Very good. Very good. So ladies, we see that that is just another example from one of our ladies here with us online and also myself. Now, I must say that I cheated during the Christmas vacation because I made a lifestyle change in 2023 and I cheated a bit, had a little too much carbs during the season. And it just crept upon me. I put on about 10 pounds since I lost that 43 pounds. So I'm down. I put on an extra 10 pounds. So getting back there now, back into order. And I didn't like the way I was feeling because somehow my body was saying, "What are you doing, lady? What you doing? Look how good you was going." And then I started to become bloated again. So and started to feel unwell generally. So I made up my mind this time. No turning back. This time, that's it. That's it. I'm done. Right? Because your body, as a matter of fact, your body changes when you start to eat like this. The things if you try to put the stuff you used to put in your body before, you start to feel, actually, I started to feel sick. And your body actually adjusts and makes positive changes. And I do not want to go back down that road again. So I am on it for the long haul now. So as I said, my garden is blooming and I want to encourage a lot of you ladies, get into some form of gardening. If you don't like to do the running and the weight training and all of that, gardening is a very good form of exercise and you're doing it with a hobby. Because by the time, as I said, when I bend down doing weeding and stuff, you wouldn't believe how much you sweat in that short space of time. My clothes is just wet. Just about 10 minutes in the early morning, even before the sun comes up, right? Because that's when I like to do my gardening. Early morning and late evening, and I sweat a lot. Gardening is a really good hobby, and it is a healthier way to feed your family, ladies. So that, there's some things, yes, you get in the market, but generally I would encourage you to try to grow a lot of this stuff on your own because you know what you are putting on your veggies. You're not putting all those chemicals and things like that. And we are in the Caribbean area. And those of us who are not in the Caribbean area and who are living somewhere where you could plant something, even if you plant in a pot, because I've known a lot of people plant their veggies in pots and they have a small space and they bring in a lot of food. I have an aunt in the States, she does that. Also, my father, who is 80, who had some health challenges as well. And my aunt as well, she had some health challenges and they both overcame through lifestyle changes. So we know the power of food when it's used in the positive way. So I would like to encourage us, from today, make some changes. It doesn't have to be everything one time, every day, you start to decrease the bad and replace it with something else. So it's not like you're stopping yourself from eating what you want to know. It's just replacing it with healthier options. Like my patient said, I don't use grain flour now. I use oat flour. I make my bread with that. I adopted other types, use other types of flour. And she's still losing the weight and healthy. So I would like to encourage us ladies to do the same thing, and I will try my best to be a very good exemplar. As I said, I'm back on the way I used to eat, and I want to stay on that road of health. So I know this is a very timely topic, and I want to continue with this for this month. I want us to just deal with health. I want to see what we can learn from those people in the blue zone. So I want to do a topic in the near future on the lifestyle and the whole blue zone, those people in various parts of the world, what they do, and so that we can adopt even more positive changes as we go through this perimenopause and menopausal and postmenopausal transition, so that we can benefit positively from these folks who have beaten the odds through eating. Any other comments, ladies, before we leave?
Good night. I
Good
should
night,
have
Ms.
said good night
Ramata.
before.
Good night, my
No,
dear.
yes. No, no question is stupid. No, we
No,
buy vegetables. We buy vegetables. And we know
Peppy?
we buy vegetables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Hello?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize it went off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we buy vegetables because we want organic food, okay? So, but we don't get that. We have to pay high prices. And I still don't believe there are organic on the market because I know there are so much smart people out there. Anyway,
Yeah.
they say we need to put like 2-3 drops of bleach in the water before we wash the vegetables, but I think that is gross, you know, because I'm asking, for me, no,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is like adding more chemicals to your food.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you all have advised people to do that as nurses in the medical field.
For me, and there'll be other people to give you healthier options, which I believe there are. I wash my veggies with bacon, wash them out, and I let them soak a little bit in some, I use baking soda,
Okay, thanks.
right? That is one of the things I personally use. Other people use different things, I know, to keep that it's not like corrosive as bleach. Right, but a few, there are others. I don't know anybody what you use to wash your veggies with that, would be chemical free and safe. Some of us would put some vinegar as well to wash your veggies. Anybody, what you use to wash your vegetables, ladies?
I was going to say the vinegar.
Vinegar?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's another help.
if you have like about a gallon, yeah, put
Okay.
probably about just about 3 cups. That'll be what, about 7
Mm-hmm.
10 mLs of vinegar in the water. And you soak it overnight before you actually wash it and dry it, and you rinse off the heavy dirt and thing, put it in the vinegar to soak, and then you take it off that and dry the leaves and thing and put it in the Ziploc bags and store it.
So that is another way of doing it as well, Ms. Rambuta. As I was saying, vinegar. Very good.
Vinegar
you.
does
Mm-hmm.
what it is called?
It takes out a lot of the bad stuff from it.
Neutralize.
All right.
Acid. Use a lot of acidic type of neutralize.
Okay.
And I already baking soda does as well, eh? So if they choose to either or it will be, because the whole purpose is to neutralize the chemicals.
Right. Okay. Thanks. So we have baking soda, we have vinegar. Anybody else? What do you use? Anybody else use any natural stuff to clean their veggies? Miss Graceland, what do you use to wash your veggies?
I use the same baking soda, but I remembered this lady who does natural things was talking about the activated charcoal.
Okay.
Yes, that you could put like a little tip, like quarter
Okay.
of a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon in your veggies and just wash them. But don't leave
I
it to
never thought
soak.
about that.
Okay,
Yeah, because
I never
charcoal,
thought.
you know what it does, it remove toxins and so forth.
That's
Because you
true.
know that when people ingest Gramazone, that's one of the
That's
things
right.
that we use.
That's what we use in the
Right,
hospital.
so, yeah, so, but I use a lot of activated charcoal too. You
Okay,
know, just for the toxin and all those things. So I put that and or baking soda.
okay. Thank you. So, Ms. Ramata, you see the other options you have? We have the vinegar, the baking soda. We have the activated charcoals to wash and soak the veggies in to wash out a lot of the chemicals as much as possible, and the bacteria and all the other germs. And as Medixia said, she takes them and she stores them as well afterwards. So we have we have safer ways of doing it, and that is so you could probably adopt those because I believe in the charcoal, beside the baking soda, the charcoal, because of what it does. As a healthcare provider, I know it really takes out poisons from your system, and I take charcoals actually a few days every few months to clean my system as well. So it is really good, activated charcoals. So yeah, you could read up on that as well. We could even do something on that as well, how activated charcoals, what it does to our bodies as well. So it
Thanks
is
very
really
much.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
thank you
welcome.
guys very much.
You're very welcome. So ladies, this is the end of our topic for tonight. I learned a lot, and we all did. And I would just like to say it would be nice if we, as we go through this transition and this health journey, that we adopt a lot of these lifestyle changes. It may not be anything big when we start, but eventually the outcome would be very positive. So I want to thank everybody again for coming on and for your knowledge that you imparted to everyone tonight, and let us keeping one another supported through this transition and these changes that we are making. So the Mediterranean diet is a really good option as well, because of what it does and what it entails in the eating habits. So don't look at it as a diet, look at it as a lifestyle adjustment for long-term benefits, positive benefits.
Yes, it is rewarding.
Right? So thanks again, ladies, and I want to encourage us to continue. Invite a friend or 2 or 3 or 4 to come on and log in, and let us learn from each other as we go through this, because this is a learning process. It actually is. Sometimes every time I go through this, every time I'm going through getting something new is coming up. When I think I overcome something else comes up. So eating is a really steady way of controlling a lot of these symptoms. So let's keep at it. And thanks again for coming on and sharing this lovely information that we can have online to help other ladies, and also, to pass it on through the knowledge we have. Thanks again, ladies, and a pleasant good night, everyone.
Welcome. You're welcome. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good night. See you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Was willing. Bye-bye.